All right, man. So we're gonna
But
review two issues, but what, like we were just saying, not a lot we have to really talk about for 15.
no,
I don't know if that's just because we couldn't record it, so it kind of,
I well, no, like I even kind of felt this way like after reading it. Like the first time, I was like, I feel like now, not that I'm having like the opposite problem with this book, but like whereas like before this arc, it was just like there was a lot like being said and a lot like being shown in each issue, but still not a lot was being answered.
yeah.
Whereas with this, like this arc, it seems like there's not a lot going on and still not a lot being answered.
I'm kind of like worried that that little Godspeed tease is not gonna happen. Like it's not gonna be.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
I don't
know.
know
I
what's going on with that.
I
Um,
still want that to be the case. I think that's a cool idea, but like I don't know, like I've been looking at solicitations for Flash. This like arc is going to be like several more issues.
really?
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it's like yeah, going to keep going. Like I think to like 19.
Yikes.
Like where's the can you like hit the yeah, let's see what's in like the next issue is.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's keeps
Because
going.
that's is that January or February's issue?
I think that was
Oh,
February.
okay,
Oh
cool. Then we will be done with that in March.
yeah.
So two more issues of this, I guess. No, I mean, which is fine.
I think the direction of where it's going is better.
Yes, I like the more like lightheartedness of it, and it's how it's like it seems like the characters are actually enjoying being alive
Yeah.
instead of like every single one of them is just like was like miserable in the first arc.
Oh yeah. It just kind of
Yeah, I
it seemed like they were trying to do like a sci-fi kind of horror book,
I mean,
and then it kind of
kind of went off the rails
I,
a little
I
bit.
kind of realized that like the horror aspect of it was just kind of really maybe in the first issue because you didn't really know what was going on, and like
Yeah,
Deodato's art kind of made you feel that way.
it's horrifying enough. Yeah.
Yeah, but now I'm like that's gone. And go back to 15. Um, the other thing is because they're in, this place. What? How do you say it?
Skartaris, I think.
Skartaris. They
Uh,
shouldn't have their powers down there, but because the dog's there, as you find out at the
yeah,
end of the issue, that's why they have their powers, so they can't get too far.
yeah, yeah,
Um, and then what's revealed in 16. I love this cover, by the way. I think it's really cool.
yeah. The Del Mundo cover, like this one, and then like the 15 and then 16. I even think the next, like, yeah, 18 looks really, really good too. The one where it's like him with the dog, like, and like they're holding the planets.
Oh yeah, the colors look great on that.
Yeah, I think
But
I love Del Mundo stuff. Like his
oh
stuff's
yeah,
really,
solid covers. But
he should be, okay, I don't want to like go off on a tangent, but
oh
like
yeah,
seeing his covers make me wish that he was doing the interior art.
right.
Because I really like he did Thor for a period of time, like in 2018, when Jason Aaron like put Odin's son back as like the main character of the title, like when Jane died.
Hmm.
And yeah, he did like the first 10 issues maybe. I really like it. It's really, really cool. I
Oh
uh
yeah,
I wish he would have done a little bit more. So I'm always down for Mike Del Mundo to do some interiors.
I'm
He
always
doesn't
kind
do
of like I'm always kind of indifferent when there's like that artist that does such great covers that you wish he was on the interior,
yeah.
because I always wish that like whoever's doing the interior should also do the cover, because I feel like you're kind of you're not selling it the right way. Like you're kind of
I
like,
guess one of the only, it's funny because like one of the few times I feel like I'm normally like not a, I don't really care about cover artists versus interiors when Ross does the covers. Like it's so funny because like I feel like anytime I see Ross's covers on a book, I'm like, well, he's never doing interiors, so the fact that he'll do a cover run is enough,
oh yeah, oh yeah. It's always cool to see like Alex Ross like cover run.
dude.
But
Yeah, like I'm gonna be like I really just one, I'm bummed his Fantastic Four cover run is done. Like he's done doing covers for that series.
what is he doing now?
I think he's well, no interior stuff, obviously, but he's doing. I think he's doing every cover for Immortal Thor like he did for Immortal Hulk. So that'll be like probably 40 to 50 issues like he'll be doing covers for.
Damn.
Um, he's also do like oh, he's doing like character design work for that book also. He did I I think it's like 25 is the issue it's supposed to happen in. But Ewing did an interview like before the book even like had come out saying that like Ross helped design the costume, helped come up with the idea that to use like the blue and the white lightning as a way as like shading instead of blacks and darker tones.
Okay.
And then that he would be redesigning Thor's costume about like halfway point in the series. And this is coming from like, if not the same interview, an interview pretty close around the same time when he had said that he had plotted the like 40 or so issues before the first one launched. So I would imagine that he's probably been working on some of that stuff too. I don't know what else Ross is doing. He's doing a few other covers, I think, but nothing like long term other than Thor.
It makes me think of like when Cantwell was doing Iron Man. I read like a little bit of that
Oh,
run,
yeah.
but I loved that cover run, and I
Those
also
are
just love
really
how he
nice
did the suit.
covers.
He designed the suit for that.
Yeah, that like God armor or whatever. That suit looks really cool. I really like that.
Oh, just wanted to make a note for the listeners. If you can't tell, we're recording this in the morning, so that's why we sound dead.
Yeah, it's like um back to Flash. I
Yeah.
Yeah, 15 just felt like kind of like nothing happened except for like yeah, we got like a visual confirmation that the dog is the Speed Force. It just seems like he's a hot spot. Like he's a Speed Force hot spot. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what other purpose the dog is supposed to serve other than like, hey, well, we just normally can't use our powers here, but now we can because we have the dog.
Well, they said it in the issue that this is that Speed Force baby that they
That
talked
yeah,
about,
like the deep change they keep
the
calling
deep
it.
change, and they're trying to because
I
and
okay.
we were even stumped by this how they kind of just acted like the dog had always been there, and
Dude,
you and I
and
were
they
both kind of just like,
literally
what?
do that in this issue, and it's just so it's so dumb.
But
Because this
like,
is
yeah, it's weird because they show all the events and it's like, oh,
yes,
it was
like
always there. It was like,
this is like the same problem I have like when they did Spider-Boy last year or whatever, when Dan Slott was like, he's always been there. Okay, you mean to tell me that this character that now just now got created was always there, and you're gonna somehow adjust continuity to make that work? How are you gonna do that? Like how we'll just use Spider-Boy for an example. We won't even use the dog here. You mean to tell me that you're gonna have a young boy who's gonna let Peter Parker do all of these stupid ass things? Like, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and just let you give up your marriage,
yeah.
and Aunt's gonna die in like 11 issues anyway. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. That's a really smart idea, Parker. Good idea. Like not that it's the same, but it's also like I just don't really I'm not really a big fan of like trying to shove these characters that didn't exist into continuity to make it seem like they always existed, especially when you're not really the writer to do it.
Well, you know what? I don't. If it was like a full like fledged character, that's totally different. But in this case, like a dog really doesn't bother me that much. Like I'm just kind of like, all right, we'll see how
I
this
don't know.
goes. It's just you're
I'm
building the
just
Flash family outwards a little
I
bit,
mean, yeah, yes. Like I'm
and
not saying like I hate the dog, let's get rid of the dog, but it's also it's like, you know what I mean? Like like to try and like just finesse it in a way where it's like, look, he's always been here, and I'm just like, dude, like, not really. It's not, I'm just not buying it. Is all. I'm just
Yeah,
not.
I mean, I
I'm a
think it's
hard
just
sell,
kind
I guess.
of, I guess it's just kind of like an interesting way. Um, I'm not a dog person, but I could kind of see why people would like this, and
See, I
it's
have a
kind
dog.
of
I like my
kind of
dog.
cool. What?
So I have a dog. I like my dog.
Yeah.
But my dog also isn't a cosmic entity that was born at the end of the time stream. And now
Yeah.
there's all these things that and here's the other thing is I feel like it's like it overcomplicates it a little bit. Again, like if I don't know, man, maybe it's just me. I felt like the Speed Force was more interesting when it was this like when like we didn't know all these new things about it. I like the
Yeah.
mystery. I like the fact that it was just this like technically this cosmic force that always has existed and is always going to exist because of this one event. But now it's like, well, that's what you thought, and then that's not like. I just feel like he spent so long trying to over-explain the Speed Force and only to boil it down to it's a dog now.
Yeah. Well, I think I've always had this feeling with the Speed Force. You're not really supposed to fully understand it.
Right, and
It's not really
I don't
meant
know,
to be
and it's also me.
explored like that.
Yeah, and I like that Wally is generally the only one who like really like knows it. You know, like or like
Yeah.
Max or like some of the like a few of these characters that like or even like Johnny Quick. Like the way that they like understand the Speed Force, no two of the Flash characters understand it the same way.
Oh yeah.
So the fact that there's like now this blanket idea of what it is and what it can be and what it is to speedsters, it kind of loses that like the mystique behind it, I guess.
Mm,
Because
yeah.
I liked it when Wally was like, oh, like you know, I have this like more spiritual or like this more like sound connection to it. Therefore, I'm the fastest. Or you have Barry who's like, well, I was the progenitor of it, or like each step I took when I got my powers was creating it. You know what I mean? Or like Max who really is like that spiritual, like can feel like every like the emotion and frequency of it. And then you've got Johnny who understands like the math behind it or some of these other things.
Yeah. Like
And
the
then you have like
equation behind
characters,
it.
yeah, and then you've got Jay who like literally is just like the old guard and doesn't really know anything about it, but he's just handling business because that's what he's always done. You know, like I think like this mysterious force that connects them all and makes them a family, you know, in part is was what I think was so interesting about the Speed Force. So trying to like over explain it and put all these labels on it and like say, well, it's all this stuff, but now you're a dog. It's like
Yeah.
you overcomplicated it to the point where it's like now you have to boil it back down to something simple, but you turn it into a baby dog.
I think it's kind of more of a means to set up like another story in the
Ye-
future. Um,
I'll take it. It is what it
I think
is.
it's just to kind of in the future, just to kind of build towards a more emotional story. We'll see if it lands, but
Dude, do you think I kill the dog?
you never
Or
know, man. That was my first thought was like, setting up this part,
could you
like
imagine?
give him that John Wick moment.
No, not Wally. Dude, he's just gonna be the most bitter, like hateful DC hero. Please. That's what's gonna happen. Don't even talk about that. Because the Wally's just gonna be angry for like whoever's that's what's gonna be. This run is gonna end with the dog being killed. And the next run is gonna be like John Wick style Flash, where he just like punches criminals as fast as he possibly can. Okay, you know,
Yeah,
fine. I'll read it. As long as you get somebody like you know, if we're going down the rabbit hole, get somebody like Garth Ennis to write it then.
yeah.
Gar a Garth Ennis or a Warren Ellis Flash book would be disgusting.
Oh my God.
But it would fit like a
Yeah. Dude, I keep looking at this cover and I think it's like the best like we've seen of this suit so far.
Yeah, no, it really is. Well, okay. I think I don't even know how you say this person's name. I don't even know how to say this word. Hold on. Yeah, that one. Let me see. Because it's DK Ruan, Dyke Ruan. I don't know how you say their name.
Daikuan, I think.
But anyway, um,
He does
I
the
think that
covers
yeah,
for Ultimates.
yes. I think they make the suit look really good. I also kind of like that cover too.
Yeah.
I wish it was the classic suit, but I kind of dig those winter
Yeah.
one covers.
This suit's grown on me. I think some artists make it look really bad though.
See, this artist is always gonna have my ups, dude. I love this artist. Matea de Eloise, just banger, dude. They're doing a oh, dude, the Power Girl cover right there. I'm so ready for that. I've got that on my pool. Not that one, the variant. Yeah.
You're a big variant guy, man. Always getting
Okay,
the variants.
dude, and the Power Girl variants, every issue is good. Every issue's has spectacular variants, except issue 18.
Wow, dude, I can't believe how many issues this has.
It's okay. Maybe we talked about this like a while back. Yeah, we did. We talked about like when I thought Flash was being canceled. See, even that's a good cover too. 19 looks great. Yeah, 18 is the only one I'm really not the biggest fan of. It's fine. I'm still gonna get it, but yeah, that book is it's like Harley Quinn and like Catwoman. It's like those kinds of books. Like it's had such a strong lineup of artists on variants that it
Yeah.
is constantly selling because of the variants. Like I've not that I've like hate reading Power Girl right now, but it's not that good. It's really just not that good of a book. But I'm like, yeah, Poison Ivy too, man.
29 issues of Poison Ivy. That's insane.
It's just so yeah. Well, it's G. Willow Wilson, so they're giving her a little bit more to go on. But people love that book, dude. I hear really
Really?
good about Poison Ivy. Yeah, because they did a whole bunch of stuff to connect her like to the Green and Swamp Thing and all these other things and like that
So
whole like corner of the DC universe. She's like really connected to now.
you've been reading this?
No, but Ryan has like since it
Yeah.
started, and he really likes it. He says it's just like one G Willow Wilson is kind of a safe bet because she's got a pretty good catalog, but also like uh if people have been really enjoying it from what I can tell. Like I don't really ever hear bad stuff about Poison Ivy, and
Yeah.
like what's been keeping me off of it is Harley Quinn. I just don't care to read about Harley Quinn. She's not interesting to me. So
Yeah.
like but Ryan says like she's in the book in like a tolerable amount, so it's not like she's there every single issue. And dude, Dan Moore has been did some sick covers, dude.
Dude, Dan Moore is the king.
Dude, yeah. There's literally there's no doubt.
He's the king. Who else?
There is nobody else, dude. He's just the best.
We need more of him.
Yes, dude.
Dude, I just I don't know how he does it, man. I don't know
I
how he
don't
does
either.
it.
Like it was so funny because like that Challengers of the Unknown book that came out like a weekend like 2 week
hmm
last week. I He did a variant for it, and it looks like kind of like a rough like he did it really quick, and it's like got a little bit of scratchy edges on the lineup like on the lines. But it looks a million times better than basically every cover, and it's just them standing in one spot.
Let me
Like
see.
it's just literally them standing there, wherever Challengers of the Unknown is, right there. The Diodato cover is ugly, but that's normal. Yeah, look, yeah, you can see what I'm talking about. It looks like very like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it looks like he kind of rushed it, but he's like, oh, I need to finish this cover right now. Here you go, guys. But
it
it's
looks
still
like
like
I think they just pulled this right from the concept art for the suits.
I, I was gonna say that could be the case too. Like he just literally just copy and pasted the concept, the character concept stuff. He's like, here you go.
I showed my brother this, and he was like, "What are Challengers of the Unknown?" And like he was like, he
Yeah, like
saw the
eight
suits and was like, "What?"
like eight people know what they are. I
I know.
barely know. I don't even know what they are really. They're just there.
I remember when I first saw this, I was like, "This looks like something Tom King would write."
That way, you got Christopher Cantwell instead.
Yeah.
Oh, I hit. Okay. I. How many of the DC books are you reading?
I'm reading Batman, Green Lantern, Justice League Unlimited, World's Finest, Flash, Green Lantern, and Absolute Batman. I started reading Action with Mark Waid who was on it, and I kind of decided that I can't keep up with a weekly book like that.
It's been hard, dude, and it's
So
been really, really long.
I'm
Like
waiting for
it's
it just to
been,
wrap up.
yeah, I think it's on his last week.
Yeah, I just can't keep up with it. But
It's been pretty good. It's been really long. Um, I don't know. It's been cool to have Mark Waid on like a almost 3 month long Batman Superman book, I guess. It's cool to see him like kind of geek out and do some like classic Kryptonian stuff, do some like Phantom Zone stuff that he started in World's Finest.
yeah, I mean, I was
It
enjoying it. It was just like hard to keep up
Yeah,
with like every
yeah.
week.
Well, like, and it's like just issue. It's like full issue after full issue. Plus, you have like the Tamaki backup, which in the beginning I really thought was good, but then like as it's gone on, I'm just kind of like, can we just be done?
Yeah.
Not that it's bad, it's just like it just keeps dragging. Like there's too many issues in this arc to keep that backup going, and it should have ended like 4 issues ago.
Are you gonna read Aquaman?
Yeah, I'm gonna check out the first issue. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm at least gonna give it that because it's Adams. I'm gonna give it a shot, dude.
I know.
Green
I mean,
Lantern is crazy right
I
now.
know. It's so good. I'm so
It's
happy. So good.
crazy. It's so cool.
I
I Kilowog was back. I was like, oh yes.
kind of wanted that to last a little bit longer, but it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of figured it was a fake out from the start. Like I just didn't know when that reveal was gonna pop back up. And him being a Yellow Lantern, like when he did show back up, I was like, oh, okay, like that's cool.
I The last issue is the only time I've ever seen anything negative about the run.
What were they
Not
saying?
for
What
me.
were
Oh, they
people
were
saying? I
just
I really liked that last issue. I don't know what the hell people were talking about.
oh, I liked it too. Um, but a lot of people said that they felt like things were kind of a little rushed.
I mean,
Yeah, I decided to start with my wait.
okay, I will say the one thing I don't like about Carol in this book is
Oh,
that
this is a long. It's a
she
long review.
it sounds like somebody just hate reading it because of Carol. They don't really like what happened to Carol. I don't really like that Carol has been like she's basically being treated like she's not really ever been a hero before.
Yeah, I don't like that either. I feel like in what people were saying is what's the entity for
Oh, like the thing
predator?
inside
Is that
the
what it's
love
called?
battery, whatever it was.
They're kind of doing like a parallax thing where
I mean, n
that was in control.
but is that really out of the realm of possibility? But also think about it this way, like if it's supposed to embody love, it probably gets pretty obsessed with whoever its favorite or last wielder is. So if Carol
Yeah.
really is only Star Sapphire, you can bet your sweet ass that that little pink space alien inside there is gonna be like, "I love you. You need to stay with me because if you don't, I'm actually screwed."
Yeah.
Like, like I don't really. That's whatever. Like it's an ancient cosmic being that wants Carol to love it forever. Who cares? It's better than a giant and the ancient cosmic force that became a dog.
Yeah. 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 Fair. There's something I wanted to ask you. Do you feel like World's Finest has kind of lost its magic a little bit?
Yes and no. I
And
still like reading it. I still think it's a
yeah,
fun read, but
I, that used to be the first book I would read when it was out. I was like,
yeah,
now it's normally the last one I read because I'm just like,
it waits, man. It's not like the first five books I read in my pile anymore. I mean, it used to be. It used to be just. And the thing was, is I used to prioritize it because it was always fast to read to get through.
yeah,
And then I it
yeah,
like I don't know. I almost want this to turn into like what did we like reading this year? But um I guess talking about other DC books makes me realize how much just Flash isn't like hitting the way that it used to.
yeah. I mean, it's, so basically, where I'm getting at is I'm kind of, especially after the issue we just read of World's Finest, I'm kind of thinking about just putting it on the back burner and just waiting DC Infinite to read
Yeah,
because I just want to cut down on some books and like it. I'm trying. I always do this because if there's a book that when it comes out and I have it and I don't read it in another 2 weeks, why can't I just wait another week? You know?
right.
Um, I don't know. There's just and I want to check out Jeremy's Aquaman, but I
Yep.
fall into a trap sometimes where if I like the writer,
You'll just keep reading it.
but I'll check out other characters. Normally, characters I'm not big fans of. Like the only
Yeah.
Aquaman run I've really read was
Jeff
Jeff
Johns.
Johns and a little bit of the Dan Abnett stuff.
Oh yeah.
But I just can't do the thing I used to do with Donny Cates, where like whatever he was writing, I'll just read because
See, and I'm like and I'm a big creator follower now. Like he- and I used to
I'm
be
not at all.
yeah, see, like that's part of my problem too, is like Lemire is a good example. Like I'm super excited for him to be back at DC because like
Yeah.
he did some cool stuff back in the day. Like he did Animal Man, New 52 Animal Man. You know, he did a few other things at DC. He's done some Marvel stuff, but like when when 5G didn't pan out the way that DC thought it would, and it's what's there like kind of like a little history here. That Green Lantern Dark book that's currently releasing,
Hmm.
it's by Tate Bramble, was originally supposed to be a Jeff Lemire book.
Really?
What? Yeah, and according to the reports that we've seen, uh, when 5G was happening, they were gonna let Lemire take over Green Lantern, and it was gonna be like the Tangent Universe version, which is kind of what this one is based off. So I'm assuming it's the same, if not almost the same, like general story idea, because Tate Bramble's done a lot of work with Lemire, but um, Lemire and DiDio had like a bit of a falling out, I guess, and it ended up to the point where Lemire like swore off the big two. He's like, I'm done. Like, is this what the heck is that? Is that a Zdarsky comic news book?
What the
That's so
dude?
funny, dude.
That's so funny.
I've never seen this. July is when those came out. Dude, I'm gonna oh man. He drew all these too, huh?
Yeah. I love
That's
that, dude.
that's hella funny. James Tinian the fourth. Evie Gail Simone. That's so funny, dude.
I love Cyclops and I don't care who knows it. Dude, Chip Zdarsky's so funny, man.
Dude, oh
He's such a
yeah.
character.
Now this reminds me of the Okay, did you see R Ryan North had pronounced Namor,
Oh yeah.
and he posted a video on his YouTube saying like we need to get this guy fired.
Oh
Or,
yeah.
like anybody that says Namor like Namor, and he's like we need to get him fired. He's like he doesn't need to be writing this book.
Dude,
Chip on
that is
chip.
so funny, man. It's crazy the stuff that you'll find when you just scroll down far enough.
Yeah, like the other releases.
Yeah.
Dude, like there are some other releases out there that I've never even seen or heard of because like we'll get the occasional order at the shop and it'll be like Penthouse Comics or something like off the wall and it's just and like my LCS the owner's like I try really try not to order that stuff. He's like but if somebody orders it and comes in like for a special order like like we'll see what it is and we'll talk about it. But I always laugh because like when something like random comes through, I'm just like, what the hell is this? And he's like, have no idea. He's like, they ordered it, so I ordered it. Um, there was another DC book. Ooh, did you read New Gods?
No, didn't.
Dude,
I'm, man, I gotta cut down on my list, man.
I
I can't
know,
do
I
it.
know, I know. All right, dude. Okay. Did you read the World's Finest Green Arrow Green Lantern special?
Not yet. That's the one book I still have to read
Really,
from
really
last
cool.
week.
Really cool.
Yeah.
I really liked it. The flashback
Yeah.
at the end is really cool too.
I saw 40 pages and I was like, oof, I can't read that right now.
It's 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 fun, dude. It's not that long of a read either. It's Adams again, but
Yeah.
it's just Hal and Ollie in the first story, and then Barry and Hal in the second.
It seems kind of random though. Like
Yeah.
that's someone that hasn't even read it yet. It just seems kind of random. Like,
Do you think this is kind of, well, I remember like Wade saying, "Oh, well, I've got a bunch of plans like for other World's Finest books." Because he had said
yeah,
like because people kept asking, "Oh, is World's Finest Teen Titans going to be an ongoing?" He said, "No, it's going to be a 6 issue limited series because if I do two ongoing series, you will like we won't get any other titles from this like branding from World's Finest branding."
yeah.
Which I mean, we're not really getting that anyway. And with him and Mora on Justice League, how much longer? One, how much longer is that book going to run? And if it doesn't get canceled when he leaves, who's taking over?
Dude, I really think that World's Finest does not have much more to it.
I I've been saying it for a while. I thought 35 would be like the end. I could see them maybe pushing it out another year and then being done and just kind of letting Wade write like silly, like inconsequential DC stories, like one-offs. Because
Yeah,
like even the most recent issue was just this is the Aquaman one, I think. It's like a couple this one's
that's
like a
the next
couple
one.
issues. Yeah, this issue I really liked it, but it was exactly just kind of a nothing
Yeah,
burger
not
story.
saying I didn't enjoy it, but yeah, it kind of made me think. I was like, you know what? I might be able to wait for this. Unless
Yeah.
something like crazy is gonna happen, like, where I'm like, I have to read it.
I mean,
But
unless it connects to like JLU or something,
I
then yeah.
just feel like the energy shifted to JLU. And it's
Yeah.
fine because hey, that's the book I wanted, but like I'm cool with kind of like having like a couple issues of this build up and I'll read it, binge read three. They're
Yeah.
good stories, but
Yeah,
I
because
just
I
don't
don't know.
feel the urgency anymore.
I think 40 could probably be. I mean, you get Guy Fieri in this issue.
Oh, dude, this cover.
Yeah, it
It's a
looks good.
connecting cover.
Is it really? Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Who's the artist on that cover?
Um, Adrian
Oh, Adrian Gutierrez. Yeah,
Gutierrez. Same as
yeah.
the
The interior. His
interior.
okay. His interiors are pretty good.
Oh yeah, no, he's a good artist.
Yeah,
Like that Eclipso arc, I was like that some good stuff.
dude.
But it felt like I wasn't reading World's Finest. That's the problem I
Yeah,
had.
yeah. This this stupid Guy Fieri. I
Cover
really
not final.
I do have to appreciate their commitment to like the that's
The
nice.
celebrity variant.
Yeah, like the celebrity variants. Like you've got like the Paul McCartney one, you've got the William Shatner, you've got Nicolas Cage, and you've got who else? Guy Fieri now. You've got dude, where's my like
You say Seinfeld?
oh, there was Seinfeld one, that's right. Yeah, that was the other
Yeah.
one. I just give me like I don't know. I would have much rather had like Bobby Flay
Gordon
instead
Ramsay.
of Guy Fieri. Yeah, or Gordon Ramsay would have been sick, dude. Like or like like get these guys in the actual issue. Like let them show up in the issue.
Dude, Dan Pinoge. I've seen some sick covers from him
Dude,
lately.
I have to like dig it out because I don't know where it's at exactly. But the Wonder Woman. Oh, actually, I do know where it's at.
When does Aquaman come out?
Like
Oh,
2 weeks, I think. Next week.
t-
No, it is 2 weeks. It was the 8th.
2 weeks.
Dude, I just love the 1 in 25 for Absolute Wonder Woman by
Oh,
him.
that's so cool.
Dude,
That's
it
another series that I like want to binge it. Like that's like something that's on my radar. They're like, all right, when that ends, when that does end, I'm going to binge that. I want
yeah,
to check it out.
I have like okay, this is just like two more copies I have of the first issue, but I have like 5 copies of that first issue, dude.
Dude, Brad Walker, I wish he was doing more art.
I
So good.
dude, I've been following him on Instagram for a long time, and anytime he posts something with like just the flats, I like lose my mind.
Why?
It looks so good, dude. I just love I I don't know what it is, but like he does like he'll
I
even
thought you were
post
gonna say it was good. I thought you were gonna say it pisses you off. That's what I thought you
no,
were getting to.
I mean it kind of sounded like that, but no.
Yeah, you're like, dude,
I
anytime you post just flats, I'm like, no.
gotcha. No, but yeah, I it just looks it like I don't know. I just love flats. Like when and he'll like post both versions and sometimes like, man, he's just posting this for me. Because like there have been a few times where I've like there were like post after post. I'm like, ah, they just look so good. I'll comment and be like the flats look so nice. And then like yeah, there would be like like in the in the caption he'd be like, for all you flat lovers out there. I'm like, he notices us. Like we are. We're more than just one.
That's funny.
Yeah, dude.
Um,
You mean like his all or like who's the other guy? Torrin Clark.
oh yeah.
Same way. Like he does a lot of like rendering, like the 3D like rendering on his covers because he's doing the Green Arrow covers right now. Um, when he posts flats of some of his stuff, I just like, dude, same thing. It just gets me hyped. I love the way that they look on like newer art. Gives that like classic feel to it.
Is your I know you probably didn't read this, but Pete Tomasi on Detective Comics, like Brad Walker worked on a lot of that, and
Oh
that
yeah, he
was
did. That's right. I haven't
great
read
artwork.
hardly any of it. I've read like an
Oh,
issue or
I
two,
love
but
that run, dude. I was actually just thinking about it the other day. I'd love to reread that because it just felt like just good
Spe
Batman stories, you know?
speaking of Tomasi, did you check out Rockefellers at all?
No, I didn't. I not I'm trying not to spread too thin. Like I'm enjoying Geiger, Red Coat. and I don't
Do
think I'm
you
gonna
want like
really.
the full Ghost Machine review then?
Yeah,
I they're all just pretty good.
you think?
I I think after Hyde Street is my least favorite.
Yeah, I didn't. I wasn't sold.
I really like horror, but it's just very kind of generic Twilight Zone like style, which is cool. But there's so many other books out there that are kind of like that right now. Like you've got probably like six or seven other horror or like thriller anthology style books that are kind of like Hyde Street that I feel like are doing that better than Hyde Street. But Hyde Street has the added benefit of Ivan Reis on art, so every page is just like a fucking just home run.
I'm rereading Jeff Johns' Green Lantern, and Ivan Reis is just so good on that. So
Yeah,
good.
dude. Yeah, he has a lot of great. Yeah, like the page the stuff he does in that book is really it's really great to look at. But I just think the story like this what's being told in the book is just kind of it's kind of there. It's just fine. Um, the first two issues of Rocket Fellows have been really good. I That one kind of caught me by surprise. I was kind of I mean it's Tomasi and Maniple, so I was expecting it to be pretty good. But I think that one's probably going to come up pretty quick as one of my favorites. Hornsby and Halo. I read that first issue. I think that might also be Tomasi. Maybe not.
It is.
Okay. Um, Not bad. Pretty good first issue. I haven't read the second one yet. I think that came out this week. I need to read that. Um, Redcoat. The last issue of the first arc was the best issue of the whole book so far, and it's just him talking to old man Einstein while he's dying.
Oh
Because
yeah, I
because
read that. I liked it.
I
I
really
like
liked that
Greco.
issue. I really liked that issue. I thought it was really good because it actually showed us that Simon was more than just this cardboard cutout revolutionary soldier.
Yeah,
Um, Rook, the tease with the wolf chick's dad at the end of that sixth issue, I think is what is going to keep me on, I think. Or the idea that the big guy that they've been fighting, the big bear guy, whatever his name is, was sent from Earth. Like he was sent from not like he wasn't a native to Rook and wasn't one of the original wardens there. Like he was sent by the organization that's kind of like messed everything up. So it'll be interesting to see that unfold. But Geiger is just really good every issue, and Junkyard Joe is coming back, and I'm just gonna keep reading it because it's been really good.
Um, what do you think's my favorite series? Not just Ghost Machine, but like
Right
as a
now.
whole. Like favorite ongoing.
Hmm. Yours. I don't know, man. I think
It's not Flash.
I was about to say I don't think it's Flash. Maybe it's
No,
Green Lantern.
it's either Green Lantern or honestly Geiger. I love Geiger, dude.
Dude, it's good, bro.
I
He's sick. My
I love
one
it.
complaint with Geiger, I will say though, is I mean I have a complaint for like everything these days, but just why take dude? Like I get it, Gary Frank needs a break, but to just spread out the issues, do the seasonal release like every other indie
Oh
publisher does.
yeah. I don't as much as I love it, if they were like we're taking a little break, we're gonna do like a 3 month break, that's fine. I'll be back, I'll come back.
Yeah, and see that's the thing is like I've gotten to the point now where like Thor is really burning me out on like the revolving door of artists that's become like the norm at Marvel and DC. You know,
Definitely
like
Marvel, not so much DC. I think DC actually gives their artists a platform and they're not afraid to give like Dan Mora. Like they're not
Yeah,
afraid
I mean
that
they definitely
they
shine the spotlight on some artists, but then you have like situations with Nightwing where like it's literally being advertised as Taylor and Redondo's Nightwing. And the
yeah.
dude probably did interior work for like a fourth or a third of the entire run that he was on.
I
Like,
will say I think Paul Pelletier as an artist for this, like a fill-in
pretty,
artist,
yeah,
probably
good,
the
solid.
perfect person to get. It's not jarring
It's
for me.
the same thing. I feel the same way about what's his face? Who's the guy? David Messina, the guy that fills in for Chichetto for
Oh,
Ultimate
perfect.
Spider-Man.
I actually had to check one time. I was like,
Yeah,
wait,
it's well here
perfect.
and here's the reasoning. They kept the same colorist.
Yeah,
Wow.
right.
Imagine that. Imagine
Yeah.
that. Because like, okay, not to like, I mean, I'll always tangent back to Thor, but it's just a really good example right now. Um, it had Kokolo on art for the first six issues. Um, seven, no, for seven issues with Kokolo. Eight and nine were Ibram Robertson, and with 10, maybe 10, 11, went to Carlo Magno, and then since then it's been Jan Bazaldua, which the current artist isn't bad, but also when you have like as good of a art combo, oh, that's a pretty dope cover.
That's insane.
When you have as good of an art combo as like Kokolo and Matt Wilson, because Matthew Wilson, dude, his colors are just the probably the best thing that Marvel has going for them right now is that dude on colors. He's a monster. Like every page that he colors is just like really, really nice. So like he's not doing the colors. You take a probably one of the best artists you've had at Marvel in years. You t take him off Thor, put him on Wolverine. How much longer is he going to be on Wolverine? I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I think I always think to myself, like historically, with the image boom, Marvel is always just afraid to give their artists like a platform.
But that the thing is like that's what's crazy to me is they shouldn't be. You know what I mean? Like you have you have artists like Ryan Stegman who are good artists. But dude, if he didn't phone it in the first few issues of X-Men and then hasn't even really been on the book until right now, until this grade for on Graymalkin arc.
Yeah, I
There's been like Diaz, like from the last like four issues.
I
And
just I can't believe how many issues they have, and like I haven't had the desire to jump in.
I'm dude, and like this is coming from somebody who's not like I don't have the biggest investment in X-Men. They're just okay. Like and and I haven't been like up like so up to date with X-Men like ever. I mean,
Yeah,
Krakoa this and Krakoa are probably only 2 points that I've really been like pretty much like I'm fully aware of what's going on and I can understand most of it. Um,
I would rather go back to like the early 2000s and read like the Morrison run
dude,
again.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I would almost rather just go back and read old stuff because they're basically, it feels like they're just telling the same stories, like over and over and over again.
That's the problem with X-Men is I just feel like they'll make like a huge leap and you're just like, "Oh man, like this is like the new status quo." And then they'll fight it and then they want to get back to
Yeah, and then the new status quo is just like the same shit that happened 15 years ago.
yeah, I don't know.
Because like I, and here's the thing is like I don't even if like the core of the story and like how we got here is different, the stuff that's happening in these books is just like generic, like your typical run-of-the-mill superhero X-Men storytelling. Characters don't really get along, even though they've been working with each other for years. The dynamic is a little bit different because of something Charles did or something happened or this happened. Like, I think Scott's probably one of the coolest characters still. Um, I kind of wish he just had his own book, to be honest with you. Kind of
I've been
just wish,
saying that for a while. I think he could just have his own book. I don't
dude,
know. This just
if Scott,
looks, everything about this just looks like it's the in between to like the next big thing. Like this
dude,
looks to
okay,
me,
like pre-Krakoa X-Men, right?
yeah, yeah.
Like
It
when
looks
Tom
just
Taylor
like,
was writing like X-Men Red and there was X-Men Blue and Gold and Black and all the other random shit books that were going. Dude, I remember going into the shop every week during that time before Krakoa started. Nobody gave a shit about X-Men. Nobody
yeah.
did because there was countless issues of it on the shelf. And we even still have some in the dollar bin, dude. Like just like copy after copy after copy of those titles.
Well,
What is that? X Manhunt. Get out of
yeah.
here, dude. Marvel, come on.
Like I'm sure one day I'm gonna like just
That
read it
okay?
just
Is
so I
that
know.
that storm cover? Is that who is that? Icky Jury?
You thought it was
Damn
art
it,
germ.
man. For a second I did, but I
Yeah.
mean that's still I'm gonna Storm and Wolverine, I think are my no. Storm, Uncanny, and then Wolverine are the three that I'm
I'll
actually
read
focused.
Wolverine. I'm waiting
Wolverine's
for it
pretty cool, dude.
issues to pile up.
Yeah.
Let it
Just
pile up
wait
a
till
little
that
bit.
first trade comes out or something.
Yeah. But all right, man. Let's wrap this up. Is
We don't really talk a whole lot of Flash, but there's not a whole lot to talk about in it.
not a
It's
lot to
just
talk about. It's just
okay.
like,
I guess the fact that we finally got the Warlord showing up is something, but also
yeah.
he could have showed up last issue because not a lot happened, man. Not really a whole lot happened.
I'm I don't know.
I
We'll
got
see.
this as a gift since we're talking about Flash.
Oh, dude, I have that literally in like on the
Ah,
top of my
yeah,
shelf.
yeah. Yeah. This is a gift for Christmas this week, and I was like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
sweet. I was like,
I
great.
when I got that and I put it on the shelf, I was so happy. Yeah, it looks so cool.
I know I got to
Although
make room. I'm kind of running out of space here, but
one
I
thing that I don't like about it, that you know the little cards they come with, it
what
says Wally West on it.
what?
Yeah. Open it
Where?
up.
The card in the back?
Yeah, on the back, if you read the little description, it says Wally West.
Oh, on the back side of the card. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very clearly Jim
I
Lee.
think I sent you and JD
Oh,
the picture.
I think you did. I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. I because whenever I when I sh- when I got it, they're like, "Do you have this already?" I'm like, "No." They're like, "You weren't gonna buy it for yourself, were you?" I was like, "How do
You're
I
not a
tell?"
statue guy, really.
I was like, "How do I tell them that Barry's not my guy?"
Yeah.
Because I was like trying to be honest and not be like, no, I wouldn't have purchased this probably for myself, but like. It's really incredible. I really was like super appreciative. I didn't want to be like, no, I don't like it. But also, it's like when you ask, like, they literally asked me, would you have bought this for yourself because you're a Flash guy? I literally was like, no, probably not. I was like, it's nice to have it. To have it now because I wouldn't have ever got it. Like, you know what I mean? Because
About
we have
two
three in
years
stock,
ago,
bro. Like, and I still haven't picked it up.
like 2 years ago, my brother got me a statue that was Black Adam. And I was like, kind of like shake, like kind of scratching my head. And he was like, oh, I got it because I knew you would never get this. But he was like, I knew you'd still like it though. I'm like, because I do like it,
Like, it's
but I
comics. Of
never would
course,
have
I
bought it.
like it. I would never would have bought it. Like,
Yeah. Like I got my brother for Christmas this year, the Kyle Rayner Green Lantern Compendium.
oh, that's cool.
And I know he'll like it, but he would
Mhm.
never buy it for himself.
Yeah.
But he'll
Well,
love it.
and that's me too. Like collected stuff, like graphic novels, hardcover stuff. There are so many things that I want to purchase and buy, but like I just don't. Like because like it's just space or money or time to read it. Like I just usually don't. Like I have like a top 10 list right now of like hardcover books I want to get. Like I want to get the Simon Spurrier omnibus. I want to get uh Superman Space Age hardcover. I want to get Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow hardcover. I want to get the Dawn Runner hardcover. I want to get all Black Hammer and omnibus hardcover. Like there's a list of it, but I just don't have the space to put them all, and some I've already read, and it's a lot of money. So
Yeah. Shit
it is what it
happens,
is.
man. I mean, for me, it's shelf space right now. I would have
Yeah.
so many omnibus if it was for
Yeah,
shelf space.
I've got all my trades and stuff up top. Well, oh, except this one. This was another gift I got from somebody at the shop this week. The Marvel Anatomy book.
Oh, that's cool.
It's like a coffee table book, but it's really cool. Like the pages on the inside are really tight.
I
Like
think it's funny how, you know, this podcast is centered around Flash, but I feel like it's become more just all-encompassing comics.
I just comics are really good, and it's not. I mean, Flash is good, but like, there's a lot of other good comics out there right now.
Yeah.
Like shameless power fantasy plug because you just need to read it. I'm telling you. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna. It might you might just show up one day. Is all I'm saying.
No, but it makes me think like, do we just keep talking Flash? I mean, I don't want to like stop
No,
talking Flash,
yeah,
but
absolutely. I mean, I don't. I like doing both. You know, I
yeah.
like when there's. I guess the way I look at it is if there's a lot to talk about in the Flash, we'll find reasons to keep talking about it. You know.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, like these last two issues really have just felt like not a lot has happened. They're fun to read. The art is enjoyable. I like the kids interacting. I like it.
I like how we spent all that time with, the deep change and like the development of Jai's new powers and his role in the family because
Yes,
like
yes.
now it's like, oh, I feel like all that weird stuff that we were kind of like speculating, wondering about, it's like, oh, now it makes sense. Now it's like, oh, that's what the purpose of those little red guys were, is like that's like
Yeah.
his anchor till he could get back, you know? And I
Yeah,
like that because it's like
whereas
cool.
right, whereas before we were just calling them meat babies because we have no idea what the hell they even were, you know? Like
Yeah. But
so
like
like good.
it just feels like now he has this role where he's like a Franklin Richards where his powers are kind of like reality bending.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I
Like,
I feel like we've been saying this since Adams was on the book. Like this book really should have always been like DC's Fantastic Four in
yeah. And
terms of like the
yeah,
feel of the book, the sci-fi like whimsical action of it. You have the family aspect. You have like all of the stuff that makes for a really, really solid family superhero book. And that you can kind of push the envelope with sometimes in terms of like serious storytelling or like some darker tone stuff. But like at the end of the day, like I don't know, and maybe it's just because I feel like so like this way about the Flash. Like part of the Flash is just like the hope and the lightheartedness of it, and like literally not like basically running until you get to the finish line. So not
yeah.
giving up and doing all of those things. Like that's the stuff that I enjoy about the Flash. So and that's the stuff that I find myself enjoying about Fantastic Four a lot of the time is the heart of the family, them like trying to keep each other safe and do the right thing and all this stuff. And if you don't have that, I feel like you're not really riding the Flash the way that it sh and that's might be pretentious to say, but it just seems like some of these characters are written in ways like are written in ways for so long that it just becomes the norm and it becomes like who they are. So
Oh,
like
yeah.
to go so against the grain that you're just gonna like upend all of that to tell this wacky sci-fi horror story and then to like try and like bring it all back down to earth, literally, like within a couple issues. I
It's a
mean,
little jarring.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It's not like I said, it's not bad. I'm still enjoying it. It's just been a lot to like roller coaster all the way through it all because one
Yeah.
issue I'm like, wow, this was good. Three issues I'm like, wow, this sucks. Two issues, this is pretty good, you know?
Well,
So,
it's just weird how you had like the whole Flash family in it, and then at the how the last arc ended, there's literally that page where they all just kind of go their separate ways, and it's just like
mhm.
I
Yeah.
like now we're just with the West family, but it's like now I want to know what everyone else is doing, you know? I want to
Yeah.
see Bart, I want to see Max. It's like I feel like we can never win with that. Like I'm so indifferent because like I like all the different aspects of the Flash family, but then there's times where I'm like, I don't. I just want to like simplify it. And then
Yeah.
there's that always that discussion that JD and I would have about, oh, there should be another Flash book. And I think there should never be two Flash books. I think just one Flash book.
And like I used to be on JD's side where it was like, oh yeah, like why wouldn't I pick up another Flash book because I would support the books. But then Speed Force came out, and that wasn't anything like I anticipated it to be because they briefly, barely even like one word mentioned the main Flash storyline, and the rest of it is just, hey, my fellow kids, this is a TikTok, Spotify villain app, brainwashing all of the people that like to use it, and you run fast.
Well, I feel like the thought is, and I've never really brought this up, but like the way Green Lantern does it, like you'll have Green Lantern, you'll have Green Lantern Corps. It's like the thought is like, oh, well, you put all the others in the Flash family book or whatever, or the Speed Force book.
Well, right, like, and that's, and I even feel like if you were to do the approach of like Batman Brave and the Bold and have it be like an anthology style book where it's just, two or three stories and one of them's about Max, one of them's about Jay, one of them's about the Tornado Twins. You know what I mean? Like you could really, and with a book like that, nobody gets excluded. Like you could even have a random fastback story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it would still be fitting because he's technically a Flash character, and you could do multiversal stuff with it, and you don't have to really worry about dealing with the main book at all. And you still get fun sci-fi Flash content, and with the potential to see your favorite Flash character.
Yep.
But here's the thing, is it gonna sell more than a Batman book on the shelves?
No.
Probably not. And if they do it anthology style, they're probably gonna have to price it at 7.99 like Brave and the Bold. And if they do, is that gonna sell? And if it doesn't, it's gonna get canned. So then they're
Well,
not even gonna put the time in to do it anyway.
my argument is, you do that, but you just make it the B story of this. It's
Or
already a
yeah,
monthly
or
book.
yeah, or how about this? I mean, they already do this to a bunch of other books. 4.99 this stupid ass book and throw it back up in every single issue.
Yeah.
Like you do that. You do that with have half the other DC titles that exist right now, all like Wonder Woman, 4.99 backup. Batman usually has a backup. Most other 4.99 books at DC have a backup. I think hell man, even Superman or yeah, Superman has a backup. Like some of them all have backups. Like I just don't see. I don't know. This is like been a long-term problem with Flash. I feel like
Yeah.
they just don't have any like confidence in the character.
We're getting in the right direction though. But
Yeah, I think so too. I I I like Eclipso, so I'm looking forward to the next arc at least, even if this
oh
one
hell
kind
yeah.
of just peters out
Hell
towards
yeah.
the end. But yeah, man. I now since we're what 3 or 4 issues past where we thought it was gonna end, how far do you think this goes really? Like, do you have another like 24? Is that still your like solid point?
I think you're 24, maybe 30. Um,
So do you think maybe then we get like this arc, the Eclipso arc, and then it finishes, or we get this arc, Eclipso arc, one more arc, and then it finishes. Because the other thing I'm like, I don't really care.
I
I
don't
like
know.
Eclipso, but also we just had Eclipso last run.
I also don't think they would end it. I think if anything,
Just like let a new creative team
you'd
jump
get
on.
to like, yeah, get to 30 issues and then you have, I don't even know who you
Yeah,
put on the book.
Ryan
Get
North,
like
dude.
get like
Ryan,
Dennis Camp or someone.
See, like you say that, but then like the only thing I keep thinking is Ryan North because he's doing Fantastic Four right now, and it would
But
probably
Spurrier and Fantastic Four.
be the one way you'd be able to get me to read like Barry full time again, I think, now that Wally's back. Is
Yeah.
if Ryan North said, I want to do Flash, but it has to be Barry, I'd be like, okay, I'll read it.
Yeah.
Because the dude just is like he just gets it, man. Like he gets the sci-fi stuff. He likes doing and the best part is he does like the wacky, like really, really out there strange sci-fi stuff. but it's all really, really good. Like it's not just here's a sci-fi problem or here's a sci-fi thing that we have to solve and figure out and or like a threat that we have to get rid of. And then it's done and we don't really know how they did it or it can't be explained how they figured it out. Like he's a smart writer, but he explains it to you like through read basically every time. So you kind of you're able to follow along with what's going on. It could be a little bit complicated, strange, but it's fun. The art's usually pretty good. It's all of the stuff Flash should be, I think.
Well, fingers crossed, maybe one day. On paper, it sounds like that'd be the perfect person to put on this, but
Dude.
I don't know. I'm still waiting for the day that Tom Taylor gets announced for the next Flash writer.
I want it, dude. I don't want it. I don't want it at all.
Yeah.
I I just like okay, before we wrap up here. I started his detective, like it's only like 3 issues in or whatever. It's just the same, dude. It's literally just the same.
Really?
Tom Taylor plus cool artist plus let's try and reinvent the wheel with this character and do something probably pretty similar to the stuff that I did with Nightwing, but let's pertain it to Batman instead.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't, okay, here's the other thing is like DC has there's this weird thing going on at DC right now where a lot of Batman stuff is centered around Thomas.
Yeah.
And it's not even like the
That's what they're
Flashpoint.
doing the same thing with Chip's Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's because in Taylor's detective, uh what was it? Joe Chill beat his wife and she was pregnant and then he gets admitted to the hospital and Thomas has to save him because he took the Hippocratic Oath. And then Martha comes in because the wife is scared that she's gonna get, beat again and the kid's gonna like their kid is gonna get it. So she takes them to some like facility for women and for babies and to like help them. And then this random rich person lady shows up years later, claims to know all this stuff about Bruce and his family, and it's that little baby who has a connection to his family, and her middle name just happens to be Martha. It's
Oh, jeez.
and like I'm not really one of those people that's like Tom Taylor's a Twitter or Tumblr writer, but dude, you're really living up to that name. Like
Damn.
the other stuff happening in that book I think is pretty interesting though. Like Mikkel Hanine on art is just good. But like there's other stuff that he's doing like in Gotham, but it's like it's like those story beats are it's just the same shit, dude. It's the same shit you did in Nightwing and you took years to get to the end of that and I couldn't finish it because it just took too long. So like I just and maybe I'm just like not the target audience, but I don't understand this obsession with trying to constantly reinvent the or like the frame, not even reinventing the origin. Like you're trying to reinvent the framework for which the character has been like standing on sometimes.
Well,
So it's like
I just feel like every writer, like when they, and I think this is the problem with Detective, is it's kind of like you're writing Batman, but like you're really not. Like
yeah,
I always think Detective should just kind of be, it's not the main book. It should kind of be more about Gotham. It should be detective stories. It shouldn't be, that's not where you do the big Batman retcons and the big revelations because it's not the main book. And I think sometimes writers just need to realize that. Like Tomasi,
right.
like he would do these little um these little stories, like sometimes like one issue stories that I loved. It felt like you were just watching an episode of the animated series, and I love that, you know?
You know what it also feels like now? It feels like you have these creative like you have these talents that are trying to get they're like these big grandiose ideas just right out the gate. Like almost like the whole reasoning behind their run existing has to either be dropped in the first issue or the first arc at some point. And that's what the entire run hinges on. Whereas I feel like comics back in the day, like late 70s, early 80s, when you started to see more like sequential storytelling and like overarching narratives and not just like issue by issue stuff, it was like the opposite. Like you had a lot of the stuff being drip fed to you through various stories. Like I'll take like Simonson's Thor, for example. That whole first half of that book is just really the Ragnarok arc. It's all it is. But it's so many smaller self-contained stories in it that like bird seeded like all of the stuff until you get there, and then when Ragnarok happens, it's like the event happening in the book.
Yeah.
So like you have the introduction of Beta Ray Bill, which then turns into, Thor has an ally that he can really trust and is on par with him to battle with him during Ragnarok. You have the Casket of Ancient Winters, like few issues where like they're talking about it, introducing it. You have the Malekith introduction. Those two converge. He opens up the casket. It causes a whole bunch of other problems. Like it's all small things that are being built up to the bigger story, where now it just feels like the opposite is like I know what's already going on, and now you have to explain to me how we're gonna get there. Whereas it's like not just we're just having fun reading comics, and then it's like this big like, oh, I see all these connections now that were there and we're doing it, where it's like it feels like it's the opposite. Like you're already showing me the end, and I'm not getting like a 3 or 4 issue story arc here. We're not like 12 issues in, then all of a sudden it's revealed this girl's middle name is Martha, and she has all these plans because of all these ties that she had to the Wayne family before Bruce was ever born. It's like
Yeah.
second the page is a flip, I'm like, oh, I already know. Like I already know who you are. I know what you're about. I know where this is gonna go.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like it's like this instant gratification thing. I feel like now, like if people don't know what the story is and what it's gonna be and like how it's gonna go, there's no investment in it.
Well, you need like that hook. You need like that defining thing, like to kind of get people talking. And sometimes I feel like, especially with a character like Batman, it's almost got to be that revelation or that
Right.
retcon
It's
that
it's right because
would piss
otherwise it's
fans
almost
off.
impossible.
You know, like it almost needs to piss fans off for them to be like, "What's
Yeah.
this? I got to check this out."
Right.
Like,
Which like even like right now, I would say like a good book who did the opposite of that was Batman Dark Patterns.
oh
That
yeah,
first issue of Dark Patterns was really good. It's
huh?
just like a classic. It almost feels like the Legends of the Dark Knight books from back in the day,
Hmm.
where it's just Batman being a detective. He's younger. It's earlier years. It's just a Batman story. It's not a Batman story that's trying to reveal some dirty secret of the Waynes. It's not some Batman story that's trying to reveal a secret sibling of Bruce Wayne's. It's not some Batman story that's trying to show us that there's a Lazarus pit underneath Wayne Manor. Like it's not some dumb shit that's just like, look what we
Yeah.
did. And it's just like it's just a cool story about Batman being a detective with an interesting villain that Bruce like okay, like now I'm like really on tangents here because now I'm just talking about Batman. But
I know, dude. You really woken up. Like
I'm
compared to when we
awake now.
first
I'm awake
started,
now.
you're awake.
Last thing, I promise. But like the villain in that issue, he shows up close to the end, and Bruce can't fight him because he's just got nails like sticking in his body everywhere. So like, and there's like multiple pages of Bruce is like, well, I want to hit him here, but I can't because if I punch him too hard, the nail's gonna go through his throat and kill him. I want to punch him here, but I can't because if I do, it's gonna go through an organ. So it's like he's having to figure out a way to fight this guy without actually fighting him and killing him. And it's a good it's a good like reflection of who Bruce is
Oh, you,
as a
you sold me on
character,
this, man.
as a fighter. Like it's a
You
cool ass
sold me.
book. It's a cool
I'm
book.
checking this out.
And the best part is, guess what? It's 12 issues and it's 3 issue arcs. So it's three or 4 full Batman cases or storylines in a 12 issue run.
Damn.
This is what they should be doing all the time with Batman.
Tell him, man. Tell him.
DC, I'm available whenever you need me. I just hit me up, man. Like at DC official, whatever you want, whatever page you want to use, just hit me up, man. I got you.
Shit.
Uh,
Hopefully they're listening. But
I mean,
hey, man,
maybe. Let's hope so. Maybe Mark Wade will listen to this and then he'll tell somebody else at DC.
maybe. But
Maybe. Or maybe Jeremy Adams. Jeremy, if you're listening, please help us.
yeah. Hey, man, thanks for always coming on. Always
Yeah,
appreciate,
of course,
your
man.
insight, especially when it comes to Flash. I always love these discussions.
It's a
And like
highlight, man.
always, looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, of course. Maybe this, I mean, we'll probably be actually able to do this one because there's not any holidays or anything else going on. When
Oh
does the
yeah.
next one come out?
Um, January 22nd.
Okay. All right. Yeah,
Sweet. All
should be good
right,
then.
man. I'll talk to you then.
All right, man.
Peace.
Peace out.